Hi lads, this is the Geordie Jedi here doing my next game review. Watch Dogs. Ubisoft have done a crazy amount of advertising for this. They used E3 2013 to, really invoke interest in this game, and then they used advertising pretty much the whole year after that to get people to really want this game. In Britain at the very least, saw it on buses everywhere. In America, billboards particular. We in Britain don't have that many billboards, but do have them, but they're not as common. And in particular, TV and YouTube ads, well, internet ads in general, really, they've been everywhere. I mean, it's crazy how much you've seen this game, but Ubisoft have done the work right. Now, when a video game puts this kind of advertising in it, or it's any product really, there's one of two things that happens. Either it is genuinely really, really amazing, like GTA 5, or it's nowhere near as good. They're advertising to save face, to make as much money as possible off the game, because it's not been reviewed well, or it's amazing, and they want to get as much money as possible out of that, so that it can go out. In this case, they've kind of got somewhat in between. It's closer to the really good game than a crap game, but it's not outstanding. It's probably not game of the year for me personally. Now, my review is going to be probably one of the latter ones out. It'll be after quite a few people, especially big YouTubers. PewDiePie's already doing gameplay. He's really liking the game at the moment. And then there's the true Geordie on the opposite side of the spectrum, who thinks he doesn't like the game, but more because he thinks it's average rather than it's a bad. It's not he doesn't say it's a bad game. It's just an average game. Personally, it's about an 8 out of 10. It is a really good game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I'd like to thank Alex, or Wasp Sky if you prefer, who lent us the game, because I didn't have it myself. So cheers for that. Now, graphics, for me, they seem very almost generic. They're very stereotypical, like Saints Row 2. The way they've depicted Chicago seems very stereotypical America. There'll be obviously the big flats that look more or less identical, and then there'll be normal houses, normal shops, etc. that do look generic. If if it's a place that you don't actually go to, it's not part of the story, it's not part of a collectible, it'll look unspectacular. The graphics won't be horribly detailed. If it is somewhere you go to, they have done quite a good job, especially with places such as the CTOS towers. They've done very good work of making them look quite realistic almost. It's not the technology doesn't seem crazy, it doesn't seem mad like Alien, but it still looks, you can see how it could seem intimidating. It doesn't seem intimidating to you because you're the vigilante, but you can see how if you weren't the vigilante it could seem almost intimidating. Now, the gameplay is the really big draw to this game. That obviously, my enemies may run the city, but I control it, that kind of thing. So the hacking's the big draw to this game. It's the main problem I was going to have with this game is that, now imagine that if you were driving at say high speed and you wanted to turn the traffic lights to your favour so you could go straight through, which doesn't always happen on the game, by the way. Sometimes you'll turn the traffic lights so cars actually hit you. It'll be an accident obviously, but it'll happen. So, I didn't want to really be holding next to change traffic lights while I'm driving at high speed in this high speed chase. However, Ubisoft have done this bit right. They've not made it invasive. For starters, you have a choice. If you don't want to turn the traffic lights, then that's your business. You don't have to do it. If you just want to drive straight on through and take on the traffic, which, to be honest, might sometimes be the better option, you can do it. However, if you want to turn the travel lights, all you do is you hold X for less than a second. I mean, really, it has a little like diamond shape, and the white bar just goes right around it really quickly and changes them. It's not invasive, it doesn't take that much time to do, so that bit I really like. That's the same with all the other kind of hacking abilities, like the block has the spikes and the steam pipes. Steam pipes are my favourite, you know, under the roads you'll blow a steam pipe to try to take down an enemy car or vehicle of any kind, of any sort. That bit's really fun actually. There's also the bridges which you can turn if you want to do the jump. There's a specific bridge when what it'll do is it'll lift the bridge like just vertically straight up. If you can time it right, you can get onto that bridge, lift the bridge and then do the jump anyways, which can be really fun if you've timed it right. It's the same with the twisting bridges, like kind of like a swing bridge. We do have one here in England, at least. I know we have one in Newcastle. But you know, if you time it right, you can get onto it and then twist it just as you leave, but say your enemy doesn't. So, there's also gang hideout, which is when you're basically after just one person to take down. You can't kill them, you have to beat them with your baton. But the other guys are expendable, so you can do one of two things. You can get an assault rifle and you can just kill everyone. You can blow up their own explosives. Their grenades have microchips, and so you can set their explosives off to kill some of them. You know, you can go in guns blazing, leave the guy by himself, and then just take him down with your baton. Or you can go in stealthily. You can use the hacking to your advantage. You can use the cameras to find out who your target is. And then it takes a bit more time, but you can stealthily take them down and run out and be done with it. Personally, for me, it generally ended up being a mix of the two. I tried to go in stealthily, but now and again I'd get seen, in which case, you know, just fuck it, I'll kill everyone. So the gameplay is stellar. It's same with nearly all Assassin's Creed games, you know. The gameplay is the good bit. So amazing on that front. Now, story is also pretty good. It's got a good mixture of general cliches of storylines and touches of shock. For example, there's an identity of someone who you eventually find out, and it's very cliche who they are. When you're genuine when you find out who they are. This happens basically on 2 occasions. You know, you could have guessed who they were to begin with. And then there's also shocks. So they've got a nice kind of balance almost. If it's too shocking, you know, you might almost get annoyed because of how surprising it is, how much they've changed the story just for the sake of a shock. Which is why you generally have cliche shocks, and you know, it doesn't change the story massively, it doesn't change your interpretation of it massively, but it does just enough to make it slightly interesting. Right, overall I'll give this game 8 out of 10. It is a good game. There's a reason why, at least in the UK, it's the top selling first installment of a franchise that there's ever been. So, you know, it is quite a good game. I can't say how it would only be, how it's for a very specific kind of gamer. Almost, you know, GTA 5 for example is pretty much for everyone. You know, there's always something for everyone. Everybody likes open worlds, and especially that kind of style. Watch Dogs, on the other hand, is only for a specific kind of gamer. Basically one who will take the time, you know, they don't mind maybe thinking about it. You know, they don't mind thinking about how they'll enter a building, how they'll take down certain enemies. Whereas if you know, there are gamers like gamers who play GTA 5, such as myself, who, you know, will like just to go in guns blazing and be done with it. They don't want to think about destruction, for example. It's not organised chaos, as it were. Anyways, it's been the Geordie Jedi. Thanks to Wasp Sky again for getting us the game. Like if you want, subscribe if you want, comment if you want. May the Force be with you.